hiring managers hate it, others avoid it, and some know exactly how to handle it. When interviewing millennials, patience, enthusiasm, and an open mind go a long way. Hi, I'm Maggie Coffey, Higherology's marketing intern, and welcome to today's Fridays in the Lab. Since 99% of Higherology is comprised of millennials, we like to think we know a thing or two about interviewing and hiring millennials. So let's take a look at some do's and don'ts when it comes to conducting an interview with a millennial. Do provide a concise timeline and set expectations. It's no secret that in today's fast-paced world, people like things quick and straight to the point, and millennials are no exception. Erica Bradley wrote an article for the Ladder's Recruit blog saying, "It's best to inform the candidate of what the process entails, as well as how long it will take." Generally speaking, millennials are always on the go, and if you're dilly-dallying in the decision process, you may lose a great candidate to a competitor who acted in a timely manner. Now, don't mold your culture. Millennials are big on culture, like really big. So big that a whopping 91% said they would leave their job if they were unhappy with the culture. So our advice, don't try to make your company out to be some kind of Google-like culture when it's really not. Because 9 times out of 10, your new hire will quit while the ink is still drying on the offer letter. Instead, just be honest. Just because you don't ride scooters around your office or have a keg in the kitchen doesn't mean a millennial wouldn't be interested. Point out the unique parts of the organization that would make someone want to work there and leave out the fluff. Now, do appreciate their enthusiasm. Have you ever seen anyone more excited to be in an interview than a millennial? I remember my first interview at a hardware store. Now, rather than smelling the fertilizer and propane, I saw myself as an adult, a member of the real world. I know it sounds crazy, but don't mistake millennials' enthusiasm as a superficial act, because chances are it's probably not. They're just truly that happy to land an interview and to start their careers. Now, don't wing the interview. During my freshman year of high school, all the teachers began drilling into our heads the same answers that employers want to hear during the interview. Now, we've rehearsed our answers to those generic, tell me about yourself questions over and over again. So instead of winging your interview and asking the same old questions about strengths and weaknesses, dig into the past and try this little HR thing that we like to call behavioral interviewing. While you're at it, develop an interview guide that's strategically planned so you are asking all the right questions. Here, this should get you started. Now, do order skills testing and background checks. Pre-employment testing and checks are the most important part of the hiring process, whether you're hiring a millennial or a seasoned candidate. Now, don't make the mistake of hiring a millennial just because you assume they're good with technology. You'd hate to find out their experience with Excel is limited to making guest lists. Just check them and test them. Do everything you have to so you can ensure that you're making the right hiring decision. Now, get ready world, by 2014, 36% of the U.S. workforce will be comprised of this generation, and by 2020, nearly half of all U.S. workers will be millennials. Conducting an interview with a millennial doesn't have to be awful. As a matter of fact, it can actually be rewarding and even amusing. In 8 years, half your office is going to be millennials, so why not start off on the right foot now? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.